You know, he's a quiet guy. You know, Deshaun's really kind of a quiet guy. He's fun and all that, but he's just a very serious person about what he's doing. School, very purposeful when he comes over here every day. He's very purposeful. Just carries himself. He just has a different presence to him. And Sammy was the same way. And when you stepped on the practice field with Sammy, you know, you just like, wow. I mean, his work ethic, his coachability was very unique. And his ability to grasp things technically and schematically made him special. But the work ethic plus the talent plus the knowledge was why he was such a great player early. You know, a lot of guys have the work ethic and the talent, but the knowledge may take a little while. Or they may have the talent and they might even have good knowledge, but they don't quite have the work ethic that it takes. And so there's a transition that you have to go through. And so, you know, everybody's different. But Deshaun, as I've said, I mean, I've never been around a freshman like him. I mean, even Sammy, similar in that regard, but you're talking about the quarterback. You know, the totality of your whole system, defense, structures, pressures, protections. I mean, just unbelievable to see a guy that is where he is, you know, at this stage in his career. And but I think it takes that type of maturity. Obviously, very well prepared coming to Clemson, great foundation, and a lot of knowledge of who we were and what we do too. Because again, he's been committed a long time, so he's been up here a ton. And it seems like to me he is a junior because he's been around forever. But it's fun. It's fun to see him get off to such a great start, and he's just going to get better. He's just going to get better.
So do you and Chad have to nitpick issues to find?
No. He's making plenty of mistakes. I mean, he'll be the first one to tell you. I mean, he made 3 or 4 mistakes last week that were just, you know, his effort was great, but he put us in a bad spot. And, you know, just things that where he looked like a freshman. Y'all might not have noticed it, but it wasn't good. But all the other stuff he does, there's also some plays on there where you just go, wow. He just makes us look good. We don't have to be perfect with him. That's for sure. He is. He'll cover up some mistakes for you in a heartbeat. And again, that's what them great ones will do.
The sliding, diving, leaping catches that the receivers have made, what percentage of that is their natural ability and instincts? What percentage of it is coaching?
Well, I mean, you know, they're well coached. There's no question about that. You're seeing guys improve. I mean, G-Hop is a guy, for example, that has been coached. You know, and he's, you know, coaching is not just the technical part of it, it's the mental part of it too. And I'm really proud of him because he's probably come the furthest, you know, commitment-wise. Again, he's that guy, he didn't have a lot of knowledge, didn't really want a lot of knowledge, didn't really have work ethic, just had talent. Didn't have the mentality. And so coaching has kind of pulled all of that together, and then he's responded. And you have to give him a lot of credit because he's made a decision that he wants different results. And so he's changed his habits. He's changed the way he prepares. He's changed how he thinks. And the results have changed for him. Talent's always been there. But you know, these guys, you know, the route running, the technical part of it, you know, you got to be in the right position to be able to finish those plays. And then, and again, the things that you do in practice are critical to what you see on game day. Every drill you do has to be position specific and game relevant. Otherwise, you're wasting time. So releases, putting them in a situation to develop the confidence that they need to make the catches that are required in practice is a huge part of coaching and developing those guys. But, you know, if we're having to teach them how to catch when they get here, we recruited the wrong guy. I mean, these guys come in here, they've got natural skill, but really developing the mentality and the focus and the concentration, that comes from preparing them each and every week. And Jeff does a great job with that. And I'm very proud of our skill. I mean, we've had some huge plays we caught the ball great against Florida State. We had some big, and we didn't even have Sharon. Sharon didn't play a snap this past week. He didn't play one snap. you know, and it was one of those things we were going to just kind of monitor, and, you know, we just kept on playing. And that's very encouraging to me because we know what Sharon Pete is and what he can do. So when you just keep playing, our future is very bright at that position, and getting ready to get brighter because we're going to add a few more pieces to it this spring.
How far do you think Crowder is from getting in the mix, and what does he have to do?
He just kind of mentally got set back. He was one of the real bright spots in camp, and I just think mentally he just kind of took a step back a little bit. I mean, this kid is going to be a great player, and I think as the season progresses, he'll continue. He'll get in that mix. He's kind of lost his confidence a little bit, but he is very, very talented, very, very talented, and has worked really hard to get his body where he needs to be. He's one of the strongest guys we got on the team. He has the right mentality as far as what you want in an offensive lineman, but just, you know, technically improving, pass protection. He didn't do a lot of that stuff in high school, so, you know, he's still growing his confidence from that standpoint. And the game is fast. The game is fast up front. I mean, it's not like people just line up and play, you know, even front, you know, 4-3, 42 cover. Those days are gone. I mean, there's tons of movement and, you know, blitzes and pressures, and it's hard. That, to me, is the hardest position to play as a young player, the offensive line. And, you know, but I'm proud of him, and I think he's not quite where we want him to be. And, again, kind of took a step back from camp, but, you know, we're pushing him back in that direction.
You look concerned with the defense in the second half the other day, and then you had the second half against Georgia. Is there a concern there?
Well, I think, you know, third quarter of Georgia, they played really well. Played a solid game against a very good team. You know, we didn't really help them in the fourth quarter. You know, they played on a short field, and they played just about every snap of the second half. And that's not a good recipe when you got a Heisman Trophy guy back there that's pounding on you and missed some tackles. But again, it was a tough opener. We had some mental errors. But we've improved. I mean, we've given up 104 yards rushing in the last 3 games combined. I mean, and we've played Florida State, North Carolina, and South Carolina State. I mean, that's unbelievable to me. So we're doing a lot of good things. The frustrating thing the other night was we had some guys have some mental errors that shouldn't happen. And I think it goes back to preparation. And, you know, we've challenged those guys. We had some guys play really, really well and give everything they had. We did not play the screens very good. One of the big plays, it really was the perfect call versus what we had. You just put that one on us. I mean, as far as the call. I mean, you couldn't have had a better call. And, you know, they hit it, and they got a guy that got in space, can fly, and, you know, that one, you just kind of move on to the next play. But we did not play the screens very well, and again, we lost our focus a little bit in the second half. And again, you know, you put a bunch of points up, and instead of really continuing to kind of play to the standard that we've set, I think, kind of took our foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and you got exposed. I mean, because North Carolina, they got some skill now. They can score, and they can score in a hurry. And so, again, we're not where we want to be in any area after 4 games. But I think we are improved from the beginning of the season, and I think we're just going to keep getting better. But we know what we got to do defensively to fix some of the mistakes that we made last week.
Where's Tyshawn Dye?
Still getting better. Still getting better. He's out there. He's in pads and doing some, you know, still doing fundamental stuff, but he's not ready to play yet.
Do you think he'll play this season?
That's our hope. That's our hope. But we're not, you know, like I said, we're not putting any type of expectations on him or pressure. And I just, whatever Danny Poole says, and when he's ready, he's ready. You know, and I want him to mentally be where he needs to be too. You know, again, we need to get these guys going that we got, you know, that are very, very capable. But, He's not ready to go today, but he's much better and much improved, again, physically and mentally. But we're not trying to rush him.
Do you expect to see more of that kind of philosophy, or do you think that Deshaun showed enough in one game to get teams to back off that theory of we'll put it all on his arm?
Yeah, well, I just think that depends on who they are. I mean, most people have a philosophy, and they're not necessarily going to change from week to week from that philosophy. But I think, yes, there's no question that when you have a guy that has proven that he can extend plays, because you can't cover them forever. I mean, you extend plays and move around, make plays with his legs, make tight throws down the field. It changes a little bit, as far as how you may call it. And so hopefully that'll open up some other things for us, especially running the football.
Has there been any setbacks with Tyshawn any time in the last 7 months?
He's right on schedule, doing really well. I mean, he had a setback this summer. We kind of shut him down for 2 weeks. But I think, to be honest with you, it was more mental than physical. I think when you say setback, it was. I think he got just mentally frustrated on where he was, and kind of had to catch his breath, and then he really has kind of taken off since that point, since camp.
Dabo, I don't know if you've seen that Michigan situation where their quarterback may have had a concussion and he played a play or two. Just wondering what the protocol is for guys. Their coaches said, we didn't see, there's so much going on, we didn't see any evidence of that on the field, we left them in. Is there kind of a fail-safe system here for that kind of thing? If somebody on the sideline sees someone maybe stumble awkwardly or maybe look a little woozy, they tell you, or you see it and you get them right out or something like that?
Well, I didn't see the Michigan thing, so I can't really speak on that. But I don't get involved in that. I just play the ones they tell me that can go, and we have a whole medical staff. And in fact, I don't know half the time. They'll come to me. We have a protocol on our sideline as far as how the information gets transferred, and Danny Poole or Jeffy will come to me and say such and such is out, and so. Okay, I don't even ask questions other than most of the time they'll tell me, hey, Norton's out because of this, or such and such is out because, and you just make sure everybody knows from a special team standpoint and all that. But I don't get involved in all that stuff.
On the field situation, like during a game, if you see maybe players don't want to come out obviously if they feel like they don't have to, but if you saw evidence that maybe somebody needed to come out, I didn't know if you had a specifically assigned person.
Well, I mean, we have a huge staff. Yeah. I mean, we have, monstrous medical staff. I mean, we got doctors for doctors. We got 1 million trainers. The coaches, we're not doctors. Yeah. And so we don't, if guys are hurt, you usually know it. But if a guy's stumbling around or something, I would think that, we're going to trainer. That's the protocol. And then we move on. You let them do their job and we do our job. That's really as simple as that.
Will you continue to run Cole out in the middle of games?
Yeah, we're going to continue to play Cole. How much, when, that's kind of a situation. It really depends on him and the game and all that kind of stuff. But he deserves to play, just like Ben Boulware deserves to play. Just like when we take Stephon Anthony out and we put Kellen Jones in there, because it's not because Stephon is bad, but we think Kellen deserves to play. We think Shaq Lawson deserves to play. That's why we take Vic Beasley out. And obviously quarterback is a different situation, but we have a senior here that has proven to us that we can really count on him, and we think he really has great ownership of what we do and can help us win. But there has been some separation, and I think that's pretty obvious. But as far as having confidence in Cole and him having an opportunity to play, as long as he does what we're asking him and plays well, then he certainly will have a chance to continue to play some.
How
How concerning is it for you looking at the Florida State tape? You know, obviously you talked about the great defense that Florida State has, and then you look at what NC State was able to do against that defense.
Well, they're good. I mean, they're, like I said, active and disruptive, and they created turnovers. They got pressure on quarterback. You know, we all know Jameis Winston's an excellent player, and you know they pressured him and routed him and knocked the ball loose. They did an excellent job, especially early in the game. So, you know, give them great credit for that. But you got to give Florida State a lot of credit because they kind of settled in and got some things going and created turnovers in their own right.
Did you see the remarks, the exchange between Coach Durham and Coach Fisher?
I did not see it, but I got asked about it this morning on a radio thing, and so I have no idea what happened or any of that kind of stuff. You don't see all that stuff on our tape. You know, we're not watching the TV. We're watching coaches cut ups, and we just see the ball getting snapped. So I don't really know all the in between stuff. But you know, my comment this morning is exactly what I tell you guys is, you know, referees got to do their job, and you know, I'm never ever wanting to get into judging whether a guy's injured or not. That's all I know is when we line up and we snap the ball, we need to execute the play, period. We need to execute the play, and we need to be better than the guy across from us. It don't matter how fast we snap it or how slow we snap it. We need to do our job. As far as injuries and all that, you know, that's I don't get into all that stuff.
Anything else?